Hey everybody, welcome back to Balanced Basketball Academy, and today we're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. And right now, Giannis is kind of flying under the radar in the weirdest way possible, where he's having an MVP caliber season, his team is winning games, and yet no one seems to care, and I don't know why that seems to be, but I wanted to cover him today. I wanted to talk about some of the offseason training that he has done. I wanted to go backwards in time a little bit to when he was training with the late, great Kobe Bryant and the stuff that he's learned. Because regardless of whether people are invested in Giannis right now or the media is invested in Giannis right now, he's a champion and he's a former MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and he might just add to that trophy stack this year. So let's take a look at what he does in his off-season training to really put himself above the rest of the competition. And before we get into it, guys, I just want to say the YouTube algorithm is a little bit rough right now, so if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I know a lot of you have not subscribed to this channel and you watch it anyway, so just give it a subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps out the channel and boosts me overall. Thank you, and I appreciate it. For those of you who are new though, I'm Jordan. I was a former college basketball player, now I'm a trainer, and today let's get into the training of Giannis.
Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
You worked out with him. How did that come about?
I was just trying to expand my game and try to figure out ways and people that can help me expand my game. And I think Kobe Bryant was one of them.
What did you learn from him?
A lot. You gotta be simple. You gotta be simple. You gotta work on your craft again and again and again. We start a drill. Oh, you gotta think outside the box, and you always gotta be a kid.
This is golden advice. I wanted to get into this first because I think it's a really good idea to look at not only the training that players do, but the mindset they have when it comes to how they're going about their training. Giannis is somebody who, it's abundantly clear in this video and in other videos, he really has a hunger to learn. He does not have an attitude about him that he is too good to listen to what his peers have to say. The other thing is that Kobe didn't reach out to Giannis. Giannis reached out to Kobe, right? Giannis decided, I'm going to take that first step and I'm going to commit to making myself better. And I'm going to take a risk, right? Because, what if he says no? What if he doesn't want to help me? What if he isn't really all that invested? That's a pretty harsh rejection. But Giannis didn't care, right? He went at it anyway, decided I'm going to ask Kobe for help and I'm going to get things going forward. And then Kobe coming at him and saying, you have to keep it simple and you have to act like a child, right? What do children do? Children want to know everything. When I'm working with kids, they want to know exactly why you're doing everything that you're doing. They ask you so many questions, a lot of questions you've never even thought of. And a lot of times those questions end up making you a better trainer, but it also makes them better too, because you get to start thinking about, okay, why am I doing this? Am I just doing it to keep people busy, or am I doing it for a specific purpose? And then they start to get more invested because they understand it too. And it's a really beautiful thing. The other thing he says, is keep it simple, right? Basketball is a very simple game. It's not easy, but it's simple. And it consists of a lot of little moves and, simple reads that if you learn how to make them properly, you can become very, very good. But you have to practice them time and time and time again. And the thing is that while basketball is simple, there's a lot of different combos and things that you can learn that come together to make a complex, intricate game.
That when you're a kid, you always want to learn. You always want to learn. You ask questions. You ask questions every time. Why do I do this?
You're asking questions.
Why am I sitting in the passenger seat? Why am I going to school today? You always ask questions. So he told me, always be a kid.
And people, as they get older, get scared of asking questions because they get scared of looking dumb. It's you're internalizing instead of just getting it out there. A lot of questions that kids ask may not actually mean anything. But the fact is they throw so many darts at the wall, eventually they're going to hit a couple bullseyes. Because they're not afraid of looking dumb in front of people who they know more than they do. This is a workout with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper and Giannis. So we'll take a look real quick.
So above you, you can take a step back and then go. Okay? So when I come, I can go like this. So one thing, when I'm guarding you, you do what you do. So you go shed and you go one leg. That's what you do, right? When he's guarding you, so you guard me. You can also do that, but in our head, when the smaller guy is guarding us, our first is this, right? It's hook. So when you don't have that hook, you get here, you get to 2 legs, you don't have that hook, then you shoot. It's 2 legs. It looks the same, but it's not the same.
The fadeaway, you can do it off of 2 legs or off of 1 leg. And the best fadeaway people of all time, you know, the Jordans of the world, the Kobes of the world, even LeBron, these kind of guys will shoot both ways. They will shoot off of the 1 leg fade and off of a 2 leg fade. Like Giannis said, the 2 leg fade is an easier shot because you're going to have more balance. You're still fading away, so fadeaways are going to be what they're going to be. They're going to be difficult, but you're going to have an easier time hitting that shot just because you're going to have a lot better center base. The 1-legged fadeaway, you're like, well, why would I even use the 1-legged fadeaway? Because, I mean, it's off of 1 leg, it's less balance, it's a harder shot. Well, it's harder to block too. And by making it harder to block, using that 1 leg, you can kind of Reggie Miller it a little bit where you create some space by sticking that leg out. And it becomes harder for the defense to be able to close the gap. Whereas with the 2-leg fade, you're getting less of that leg kick, right? I'm not saying you should draw a foul with that, but you're getting less of that leg kick, less of an angle backwards. And so it's harder to, it's an easier shot, but it's easier to block as well. The other thing that Giannis is bringing up, and he's like, read your defender. If you have a smaller guy on you, right? Dylan is 6'7", Giannis is 6'10". Giannis is a pretty big guy. And he might be 6'11", actually. I might be wrong. 6'11" or 6 foot, or excuse me, 6'11" or 7 foot. You have a smaller guy on you. His default is you don't have to do as much work to fade away to get your shot off. So go off of 2, because if you go off of 2, you also have the option for the hook. And the hook is it's an easier shot, right? So I'll back up a little bit. The thing about the hook is that it's an easier shot than the fadeaway because you're closer, right? You can get more touch. It's just less technical. There's a lot less going on. Yeah, he misses this hook, but it becomes an option for him if he goes off of 2 instead of off of 1. But if you have a bigger, longer, more athletic defender on you, going off of that 1 foot fade might be more advantageous.
So in practice, I'm one of the best shooters ever. You know why? Because I don't give a f***. Sorry for my language. The ball might go the other way. I don't give a f***. Shoot that. Even if you miss, let's go next. Let's rep it out. It's about the rep. It's not about miss or make. Okay? Let's go. Same.
This is also really good. They censored it for me, so I have less work to do, which is really nice. It is so easy to get in your head in practice, and I've had that happen to me so many different times where I think about, oh my gosh, if I mess up, then I have to get the next thing right. And if I mess that up, then I have to double my efforts and get the next thing right. And it becomes this very toxic spiral. And it becomes really, really difficult, especially when you're in a high-stakes practice or when you're in a tryout or you're in a game and you think about all the mistakes that you've made. And, you know, if you miss that first shot that you shoot, what do you do? And Giannis is just saying, essentially, I don't care. I'm going to shoot it. I might airball it. It might go in the wrong direction, but I'm going to keep playing because part of letting things fall off of your back is knowing that I have shot this shot 2,000-3,000 times before. I have seen it go in so many times I can't even remember. I will make the next one. There was a particular game in my college career in which I had a really great defensive game and I played my freaking heart out. But I went 0 for 10. And I wasn't playing like a ton of minutes at the time, but I missed every single shot I took that game. And all of the shots that I took were, shots that I practiced thousands and thousands of times. And I'd seen go in thousands and thousands of times. And I wasn't injured, I wasn't tired, there was nothing wrong. I just went 0 for 10. And if that game had kept going, I would have kept shooting. And that's one of those where it's just like, you play as hard as you can, you might go 0 for 10, but you can't think about that. You can't care about that because ultimately, it's a game of basketball. If you prepare, you're fine. The shots will come, everything will come. And I think that's That's a Giannis mentality that he has, where he's just like, I'm not going to let myself get embarrassed, because embarrassment is down to me. It's not down to everybody else. It's down to me. Embarrassment is something I can choose to feel. So, I'm going to be a little critical right here. Hang on.
You can do that. Two legs.
Right, okay, so Giannis is saying he wants me to go off of 2 legs for better balance. This is Ace Bailey, right? So you can see that he's shifting his weight to that one leg really, really quick. And it's creating a slightly more off-balance shot. He ends up actually jumping a lot further away than he needs to. And Giannis is saying that he wants him to go off of 2 legs because it's going to be a stronger shot, right? Boom, there, jump off of 2 legs, and then shift your weight back as you're into the jump instead of immediately jumping off of 1. The other thing I wanted to point out, I said I was going to be critical. This is me being critical. When you're in a spin situation, there. Ace's basketball, right, is really unprotected. When you are a post player, you're a taller player, and you're faced up against a smaller guard, the smaller guard, if they're at higher levels of the game, are going to know that they don't have a chance at blocking your shot. So they have to get to the ball early, and they're going to look for a strip down low. If you expose the ball, you give them an opening. Here's the spin. There's the ball. Whew, that's exposed. That's not great. The difference is, right, when you're doing a spin, right, trying to scoot back so you can see my hands. As you're doing that spin, you're coming around, right? Keep the ball backwards. Now, the reason why this is really difficult for people who are right-handed to spin that way is because you want to bring the ball into the pocket right here, right? You want to, as you're spinning, you want to bring it so you can get it in line to shoot. That just makes sense, right? But in this case, you actually kind of have to shoot sideways a little bit because you have to take the ball here into this protected area, this nice triple threat, and then move it into the pocket from here instead of it's here. Because you need to protect the ball. That basketball right there, that can be stolen really easy because it's super exposed. Somebody can just strip down, like a really smart defender can do that. And you don't even get a shot off. You may not even get the foul. So Giannis is a little better because Giannis has to deal with these pesky guards. Here's the same thing right here. Look at where he's keeping the ball. The ball is on his left side. He's a right-handed shooter. And then he brings the ball up that way. Because when it comes to stopping Giannis in a basketball game, sometimes the only way you can stop him is by stripping his shot, especially if he's on some kind of roll. So by choosing to keep the ball not exposed, he makes himself that much more hard to guard, and he can actually utilize his strengths and take away any advantage a smaller guard might have by him making a small technical error.
So you go baseline. Do the same move. Boom. How? Where? You gotta make me fake it. So fake me hard. Now in the shot. Now harder.
When you are making your fakes, you have to sell it. If you don't sell that you're actually shooting or you're actually going one way or the other, the good defender's just gonna look at you and just be like, whenever you're ready, man. It's like acting, right? People are not gonna believe it if you're just kind of reading the lines. You have to like really be that person for a second. You have to really be that guy who's shooting the layup. When really what you're doing is like a rondo fake or something. That's what Giannis is trying to get at. Whenever you're making a move, a fake is a counter. A fake is a counter to the initial move. So make it look like that initial move, right? That fake baseline is a counter for you actually spinning baseline. But if that fake doesn't look like that, nobody's going to be able to move on that. And we were talking about excellent defenders like a Derek White, really, really smart defenders, can tell when there's the level of intensity that is equivalent to you trying to get to a shot, as opposed to when you're just trying to sell. You can't sell unless you are fully committed. This is a good drill as well. You're learning how to keep your balance, work on your footwork, and after that pump fake, reload into a shot. Because after you've done that pump fake, now Can you reload into that shot without it being short? That takes practice. That's something that a lot of people overlook. It's a really simple little detail, something they're working on right now. I like this overall.
It's a basketball court, but it's not a basketball court. Like if you see all the great ones, yeah, Kobe, KD, MJ, even LeBron, Dwayne, the spots, right? So, say for example, I'm here. So there's two spots. There's me going boom and rising up here, or there is me coming here and going boom and rising up here. Or when I'm in the base, when I'm here, there's always spots on the floor. There's that spot, right, that we're trying to get. You can go. There's this spot that you're trying to get, so you can do this. But how you get to that spot is determined up to you.
This is great stuff right here, because every great basketball player knows they have spots on the floor where if they get to that spot, they win. They've trained that shot over and over and over and over again, and if they can get those spots on the floor, they know that they can score. Because it's impossible to train from every single spot on the floor and have complete confidence in it. You're gonna have favorites. So remember, when you're playing against players, defense, getting to those spots and thinking, all right, from here, I have a fade, I have a hook, I have a counter for that, I can, pump fake into a layup, I can make these shots because I know that I've practiced them before. It simplifies everything, because if you just shoot from anywhere willy-nilly, you're going to get really inconsistent results. Whereas if you can get to your favorite spots, to your spots on the floor where you can make the most moves and counters, you're going to be really, really hard to guard. Well, guys, that's all I have for today. This was a kind of a Coach Giannis video, talking about the way that he trains, talking about his mindset and how he trains. I think that that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. We don't get to see a lot of that, frankly. There's not a lot of videos out there that really cover what kind of mindset goes into how, these players train, what they think about when they're training, and kind of the intelligence that's behind some of these NBA basketball players. It's really easy to see Giannis as just somebody who runs and dunks. It's not the case. He has a lot of really smart moves, and he's continued to improve his game year after year after year, because he has such a commitment to being able to improve his craft and his skill, which is something anybody can do. You don't have to be 6'11", Greek freak, MVP, crazy, awesome basketball player. Anybody can take these training principles and put them into what they do, or put them into what their players can do, and move forward from there. Okay? Well, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate if you'd like or subscribe. Again, it's something to boost the channel overall. I want people to be able to see these videos. And if you want people to be able to see these videos, that's how you do it. That's the easiest way to do it. And again, I appreciate for you guys for getting this far. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.